Hey guys, it's Lando from the Snap Fantasy Football Podcast. I am your host today, and I'm talking about wide receiver rankings for Week 15, the second week of the playoffs. Congrats to you for making it by the first round. It's a tough one, or maybe you had a bye week. Even better, you had a great regular season. If you think you're good enough to beat us in fantasy football, well, this is your lucky day. We do a listener league. So if you're a subscriber on YouTube or on our podcast, you have a chance to get in. If you refer your friends to be a subscriber, you have more chances to get in. We will enter your name in a draw at every friend you get to subscribe to the channel, and you have a chance to beat us. It's a ton of fun. We have very custom rules. It's a 14-team league. Maybe it's Superflex, maybe it's not. You're gonna have to come and find out. DM us at snap_fantasy. That's on Twitter and on Instagram, and you have a chance to get in. I'm talking wide receivers for this week, guys. Now, number one in this, it's not a hard question to answer. It's got to be Devonte Adams. They play the Carolina Panthers. I know that Green Bay has the NFC North locked up, but I still think you cannot stop Devonte Adams. He's the best wide receiver in football. He's bound to score 1 or 2 touchdowns, and it's a great matchup. So obviously, locked and loaded. DK Metcalf, I have at number 2. DeAndre Hopkins, I have at number 3. Tyreek at number 4. Those guys are pretty obvious. If they're in your lineup, they're a start. You can mix them around whichever way you want. Those are my rankings. I'll get to the rest, but if you want the most up-to-date rankings, make sure to come by our live streams. We're doing one on Saturday and Sunday, and we can answer any of your questions. We'll have the most up-to-date news, notes, rankings, weather, that kind of stuff, and that will be great. And I'll give you any start sits, etc. Next, I've got AJ Brown versus Detroit. It's a great matchup. It should be a good spot. I know that Derrick Henry is my number 1 ranked running back, but AJ Brown is the vision of consistency. He's a yards after catch monster, and he is a great start. Is a must start. Next, I've got Keenan Allen. I've got Elle Robinson and Stefan Diggs for my next 3 here. Check to see if Keenan Allen is banged up for the rest of the week. This would move up, and I guess Mike Evans is also banged up. So this whole team is struggling a little bit. Keenan Allen has been a bit of an Iron Man. He should be good to go. I don't think it's much of a risk if he does play because of the good matchup against Las Vegas. So Keenan Allen, check into that later this week, but I think if he plays, you have to play him. He has a ton of upside. He's going to get enormous amounts of targets, especially with Mike Williams banged up as well. Elle Robinson against Minnesota is in a really good spot. With Mitch Trubisky back at quarterback, it seems like Elle Robinson is getting his usual taste of targets and more targets. If you have Allen Robinson on the team, thank your lucky stars that you still have him and you're made the playoffs, because against Minnesota, it's a really good matchup. Stefan Diggs, he didn't really see that many targets until, the second or third quarter of the last game, but he ended up with a ton and won people matchups, including my co-host Mackenzie. Against Denver, I'm not too worried about the matchup. He's a locked and loaded start. Next, I've got Cooper Kupp against the New York Jets. It's a really good spot for a bounce-back game from Jared Goff, and Cooper Kupp is his main target in half PPR leagues, and I do think I'm projecting Cooper Kupp to get in the end zone. So if Cooper Kupp was kind of a fringe starter for you this week, make sure to throw him in the lineup, and it should be a great one. Next, I've got Justin Jefferson, and you could pick maybe you prefer Adam Thielen, but Justin Jefferson provides you with a fairly safe floor and an enormous ceiling. I'm not too worried about the Chicago defense. You cannot sit Justin Jefferson down. He got you into the playoffs for like a late round pick, so you have to keep on going with Justin Jefferson. I've got Robert Woods also in the top of my rankings. Having 2 Rams is a little bit risky, but I think this is a really good spot for the LA Rams to go in there against the Jets. It's going to be an absolute shootout. Adam Thielen, and they got Michael Thomas and Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley without Julio Jones had a really good game last game, but it's a tough Tampa Bay defense. Tampa Bay is really good at getting pressure, and we know Matt Ryan does not do well against pressure. Michael Thomas he's such a stud wide receiver. I don't think you can start him or sit him down. Taysom Hill, even though he doesn't throw a ton, I still think that he's still the one getting targets. I'm not really going to start anyone else from that Saints receiving core. I know Emmanuel Sanders caught that touchdown. Traquan Smith is basically not startable, and potentially Jared Cook is available, but I'm not comfortable. So Michael Thomas is the only one. If you want my full rankings and have other wide receivers you have questions about, drop it in the comments below. We will get to every single question and whether or not you should start him on that player on your team. It depends whether you are ahead in the matchup, if you have locked and loaded running backs but fringy wide receivers, if you have fringy running backs and then high-end wide receivers, what to do with your matchups. Make sure you put if it's a half point per reception or full point per reception, or if it's a standard league. Thanks a lot, guys. Other guys I'm excited about, I'll mention them really quick. Brandon Ayuk is in a really good spot against Dallas. I also think Chris Godwin is in a really excellent spot against Atlanta. He's further down in my ranks, but he might move up throughout the week. Thanks a lot, guys. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you like our content, and we will see you next time.